Okay, the time has come again to provide you with our first daily briefing of the new month and the third one of week 17 of Cordova's response. These are the informational briefings, I'm sure, as you know, if you've been tuning in, designed to bring you the most current information available on Cordova's response, any new developments, things that are changing, sometimes, just to remind us that everything's going well and to keep doing what we're doing. It's another visit with Mayor Copeland today, as we do in the 1, 5, and 8 p.m. hours weekdays on KLAM and KCDV, and then they go up on our YouTube channel as soon as possible, youtube.com/Cordova TV for later consumption. So, we'll see what Mayor Copeland has to share with us today on the Daily Briefing. Mayor Copeland, you just got done with a meeting. You go to lots of meetings. So what meeting was this, and was there anything fascinating?
Well, we now, with our incident management team, our emergency management organization of the city, meets once a week now, and our meeting this morning was at 10 o'clock. We covered a variety of topics. Kind of central was the fact that, again, as we mentioned yesterday, we see growing numbers around the country and around the state, but in Cordova, not so much. We did talk about some details, again, reopening, some kind of administrative pieces about the city being in alignment with the state, but still having kind of a side door mechanism for if and when things change on the ground here in Cordova, making sure that we still have the opportunity to put specific protections in place for Cordova if they become necessary. And then we talked a little bit about marine highway service, which is going to resume in a very, very, very limited fashion just here in a couple days this weekend.
Yeah. So what about the Marine Highway now? Is that another place where we're going to have ambassadors stationed or a testing facility, or what's that going to look like?
That's a really good question, and that's something the team actually discussed at length this morning. Even though it's listed as one of our 3 ports of entry, we got a lot of insight from Dr. Sanders on this morning, actually. And just a reminder that in-state travel is still considered very low risk. And because we have such a good working relationship with the Marine Highway System, we'd originally kind of looked at this as the harbor and the airport where we have potential for virus to enter into the community and potentially spread. But really, the risk is very low with state travel. So what we're kind of leaning towards now, and we're just putting the finishing touches on this, is that if we can get some fairly simple accommodations from the terminals in Valdez and Whittier, we may be able to just put the information, Cordova-specific information, in their hands and get a little help so that people with a 7-hour ferry ride in front of them can get the resource materials for Cordova to shop in our businesses safely, to know about our masking requirements, and just background information that they would need when they get to Cordova. We had never really anticipated that being a testing site, and again, because it's in-state travel, but we do want to make them aware that testing is available and provide the resources for people traveling by ferry. And so it may very well be that we do not have ambassadors there, which I'm sure they'll be glad to hear with 2 a.m. arrivals and departures. But we're seeing this as a different kind of access into the community within the harbors and the airports. And frankly, we really don't want to compete with the resources that we have in place in the harbor and the airport, where there is a potential for the virus entering into the community. So that'll continue to be our focus. Okay,
and just so we're clear, this is a conversation, did I hear you right, that is being driven by Dr. Sanders primarily?
Yeah, and I think that's just the case in general. We lean very, very heavily on our medical team's advice, and so and frankly, as a team, we kind of share her perspective. So, but yeah, we always take the medical advice, and is our first and most important information.
Okay, well, we heard yesterday the governor had one of those press conferences and talked about some of the provisions for rent protection and eviction and vehicle repossession and some of those things that are sunsetting from a Senate bill starting today. But on the flip side of that kind of news comes some news about the Coronavirus Food Assistance Program, which is something that I guess the USDA has been involved in. What is it that the team wants the community to know about this particular program?
You bet. And at a high level, it's a great program that's helping our producers of dairy products and produce and food who kind of ended up with an overstock, ironically, in certain cases, connect those resources to people who are struggling with food bills and food access. And so it's a USDA program. And our own AC Value Store was just awarded a contract from the USDA for the second phase of what they call the Coronavirus Food Assistance Program. If you're interested in information about that, you can find it on www.farmers.gov. But essentially, the program is going to provide fresh produce and dairy products here in Cordova through AC. And the intention is to have 70 households participate twice monthly for 140 households total. And here locally, we're going to try to rotate households to reach a maximum number of Cordova residents who are in need. So there's going to be a test distribution starting just this Friday, actually. And this is a kind of a cooperative effort between the Salvation Army and the Cordova Prepared, who are helping AC administer this program. So the points of contact are Catherine Mead at Salvation Army, and then Pastor Steve Leppert, both who have been instrumental in our local food assistance program. And I would mention AC Value Center has also just been a huge champion through the pandemic here. They've been very generous with their donations to the local food banks and programs, particularly the Salvation Army food program. And so it's great that they had an opportunity to be involved in this USDA program. And so Steve Leppert's number for local information on this program in this Friday's distribution is 429-6262.
Okay. And then again, Catherine Mead at the Salvation Army, and people can get more information by calling that number, or like you said, if they want to know about the program in general, what is it, farmers.gov talks about what it is?
Yeah, that kind of outlines the Coronavirus Food Assistance Program.
All right, good. Well, I like working with Robbie. He's good people. All right. So, anything else? How did the shenanigans go for the Chiefs' retirement, Chief Hicks, yesterday?
That was a lot of fun. Had some fantastic cake and got to rib him a little bit. And of course, there's a steady flow of people there. The town lit up. I think people are maybe wondering if it was a Tuesday tsunami warning at noon with all the noise instead of a Wednesday, but it was people honking their horns and wishing him well. And it was a lot of fun and really a great opportunity to thank someone who's had so much positive influence on our community. But I suspect that we have not heard the last from Chief Hicks at this time.
Probably not. He's sort of an institution unto himself. And actually, we're hopeful to be able to have a program of some type in the very near future where we get to visit with him some and have him look back and look ahead and just share that perspective. Okay, well, anything else then before we wrap it up?
I just want to give a little reminder on behalf of Dr. Sanders about testing. They have now done 1,267 tests, and I just want to reiterate that 2 of our cases have recovered, and there are 2 active cases that are in isolated quarantine. And please remember, if you're coming in through the airport and are a local Cordova citizen, try not to use the testing out at the airport, because you can schedule to use the testing here at the Alanka Clinic and the Cordova Community Medical Center. We're trying to keep the airport testing open for those who are new to and visiting Cordova, so we can make tests available right as they get off the plane. So I just wanted to share that reminder. And then again, try not to bother the medical staff about your test results until 24 hours has gone by. They've been getting a lot of requests for kind of immediate feedback, and that actually slows them down in their work. So I just wanted to share those reminders, and thank you for your cooperation there.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough when you got a test for something that could be potentially as significant as having this virus. It's hard to wait, but like we said yesterday, it doesn't make biology go any faster to actually slow down the people who are conducting the biology. So, good advice there, and thank you, Mayor, again for the visit. It was good to have some time with you.
Yeah, same here. Thank you, and thanks again for your service and keeping the steady flow of information out to the community.
All right, that's a wrap for the Daily Briefing, July the 1st, a Wednesday this year. You can always get current information on the city's response at covid19.cityofcordova.net. Call 424-INFO to speak with somebody to get your questions answered or be able to leave comments for our emergency response folks. And there's also an informational update at 424-WELL, W-E-L-L, that provides you details as well. If you're a business looking to reopen, or if you're already open and looking for strategy ideas, the Cordova Chamber of Commerce has proven to be a great asset in the midst of all this, including the different grant programs and relief programs that are available or about to become available or that might be coming to an end. They've been working very hard on that. CordovaChamber.com, I believe, because I'm not looking at it and my memory is not what it once was. Cordova Chamber of Commerce. You can Google them if I messed it up. We want to thank you for joining us. 1 p.m., 5 p.m., and 8 p.m. hour briefings on the radio. And then available through our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Cordova TV, as soon as Robbie can get them up there. Thanks again for tuning in. We'll get you back to regular programming.